This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Barksdale Resources, Mr. Rick Trotman. Rick, I joked off air that it's great to be back in the office, seeing good news get rewarded. You are on the receiving end of both good news and the reward from it. Congrats. Welcome to the show. Great to have you back on. Let's talk about the news.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Gerardo. It's definitely a great morning.
Well, listen, you just received a positive legal update, and God, it makes my heart smile to say that because we know it can be really challenging in the exploration business. Anytime there's entities that are determined to prevent any progress, whether it's being done responsibly or not, there's a lot of groups out there that are funded that look. They make their money by impeding progress. In this case, you received a positive order, and I just wanted to have you on so you could explain it because the market really, really likes the news.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you mentioned yesterday, we got word that the judge in our case basically denied the plaintiff's request for a preliminary injunction, which, if granted, would have stopped us from drilling at the Sunnyside project until the entire court case had played out, which, could take, a year approximately. And so obviously this is fantastic news for us. This is, why we brought in our counsel to join ourselves to the litigation against the Forest Service. And they did a fantastic job. We made a compelling case to the judge. And, obviously her ruling shows. It's a great moment for us. It really allows us to start looking forward towards our drilling programs. And, this is kind of the first big step forward towards a fantastic, hopefully, September, October, November of this year.
Well, listen, it's been a long time coming. The last time that you were on, we talked about how tedious a journey it's been to actually get to the point where you get to test the geology. So for those that are not familiar with Sunnyside, can you just provide a brief overview of the project, why it's so exciting, why you've been so patient and willing to go through, the rigorous process that it's taken to get to this point, and why you're excited about these 16,000 meters at Sunnyside that you're going to be executing on here in the next several months?
It would be my pleasure. Yeah, so Sunnyside project is pretty special. It's got a very large porphyry copper deposit on it called the Sunnyside porphyry. This has been, tested back in the 70s and 80s. It's pretty large deposit, but it isn't the star of the show. It was the heat engine that caused the formation of a really special deposit to the east called the Taylor Hermosa system. And so for those of our listeners that have been following the story, this is the very large carbonate replacement deposit that's sitting on the neighboring property owned by South 32. Our portion of this deposit extends from the porphyry to the property line, and ultimately our job here is to get the drills on the ground and determine how much of this world-class system sits on our side of the property. So, already next door, the carbonate replacement system is one of the world's largest, if not the world's largest carbonate replacement system. And, our side of the fence hasn't really been properly explored. So our job is to get the drills turning here as soon as, we possibly can, which would be in the next 2 weeks or so. And then, go and prove to the world how much we actually have.
Well, let's talk analogs. Everyone in the space always likes to provide an analog. In this case, your analog happens to share similar geology and similar property. Obviously, it's your neighbor. What's the market cap of the neighbor, and what's yours, just to provide people an idea of the potential here?
Yeah, so our neighbor is a multi-billion-dollar market cap diversified mining company, called South 32. They trade on the Australian Stock Exchange. They would probably be something on the order of 15 billion, Australian dollars as far as their market cap is concerned. They have mines all over the world, and the Taylor Hermosa project is the kind of the the star in their portfolio when it comes to North American assets, and they're embarking on a very major capital project to put that into production, at some point in 2027. At least that's what the forecast is. So, on the other side of the fence, you have little old us, and we're sitting at approximately 50 to 55 million market cap Canadian. So, to give you further context, Gerardo, the neighbors bought that project for $2.1 billion Canadian in cash back in 2018. So it's something where they have invested significant dollars in the past. They're currently investing significant dollars, and we have a piece of that world-class system. So very excited to get started. Very excited to get those drills churning. And we're very excited to see what we actually come up with once those drills get down towards the target depths.
16,000 meters for phase one. I'm assuming that's fully funded. How's the treasury looking?
Probably won't be fully funded, Gerardo, but then again, we also have to see what the drilling conditions look like once we get going. Treasury is strong. We have about $3.6 million in the bank right now. We also have a bunch of warrants that are sitting out that expire at the end of these years, so that's another funding mechanism that we have in place. So all in all, we're going to be able to get drilling and get some initial results before we have to go to the market to finance.
Good stuff. Rick, anything else to add to that? I know you'll be in Beaver Creek next week. I'm looking forward to catching up with you in person. Anything else you want to add there?
Yeah, we got a full slate at Beaver Creek. So it'll be fantastic to not only meet a whole bunch of new investors, but can't wait to sit down and have that celebratory adult cocktail with you, my friend.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Rick, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers. Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.